Hello everyone, Frost here. Welcome back to a new classic WoW video. This is the 4th episode from the Ragstoriches series. Previously we talked about how to get gold quickly if past level 40 and you still don't find yourself in the position of owning a mount. The video received very good feedback and I thought you guys really enjoy this type of format where we cover grinding spots in detail. Today we're going to do something similar, but instead of touching the low level zones, we're going to explore an endgame spot, one of my favorite vanilla places to acquire gold from. We're going to see how much gold can be made per hour and what professions are great to have in order to become more efficient. If by any chance this video ends up being too long for your taste, please check the timestamps in the description down below. Without further ado, let's explore. In order to do this, we have to venture into the eastern plaguelands, once known as Darrowmere forest, a place that used to be beautiful and brimming with farms and small villages. The regional government was centered around the city of Stratholme, the largest city in Lordaeron. Also, nearby were the towns of Darrowshire, Corin's Crossing and Tyr's Hand. The eastern plaguelands were hit pretty heavily by the undead plague. Everything that roams here now, it's evil, cursed or something else bad. Restless ghosts prowled the area, many of them refugees from the Battle of Darrowshire. It all started when Kel'Thuzad was given a charge by the Lich King Ner'zhul to create the Cult of Damned and spread the plague of undead through the human lands of Lordaeron. They succeeded at this by infecting the agricultural hub of Underhall and delivered the plague-infected grains to the surrounding towns in Lordaeron. Arthas and Jaina discovered Kel'Thuzad and the cult infecting the grain stores. Immediately, they raced to the region capital Stratholme, only to find they had been too late, and the city has been infected. Arthas, realizing the citizens would soon become walking undead, orders the city to be purged. Lord Uther and Jaina objected to the mass slaughter. Arthas, in his rage, disbanded the Knights of the Silver Hand and exiled any who would refuse his order. To her shock and dismay, Jaina with Uther left as they couldn't be part of the purge, while those that remained loyal to Arthas joined him in slaughtering the corrupted population, which ended in Arthas setting the capital city of Stratholme in flames. Something snapped in Arthas that day. His inability to stop the plague sent him down the cold, lonely road he would soon follow. The fires burn to this day. And to this day, Naxxramas remains dormant, floating above the eastern plaguelands, the citadel of evil, the seat of Kel'Thuzad's plan, from which he oversees the scourge and heeds his lord's command. A dreadful dawn is rising in the east as the Lich King dark minions prepare to descend upon Azeroth. Soon the Scourge will march again, and this time there is no prophet to speak the warning, no gallant knight to fight the coming darkness, no legendary hero to thwart the monstrosity of the Shadow Curse. Who, then, will be the fire that burns against the cold, the light of hope that prevails beneath the shadow of the necropolis? The reason we're venturing into this plague-infected dangerous place is to kill the plague bats, mobs with one of the best loot table in game, at least in terms of grey items. They consistently drop 4 of them. Bat Ear stacks in 10, goes to vendor for 83 silver. Slick Bat Pelt stacks in 10, goes to vendor for 1 gold, 21 silver. Large Bat Fang stacks in 10, goes to vendor for 1 gold and 59 silver. Evil Bat Eye stacks in 10, goes to vendor for 2 gold and 8 copper. They also drop Wicked Claws, a crafting material, but assuming the market is down, stacks in 5 and goes to vendor for 25 silver. This spot will always be consistent in terms of gold gain, because most of the things you get from the mobs are not tied to the changing nature of the economy. There are 3 types of bats scattered across the eastern plaguelands. The Plague Bat with levels between 53 and 55, around 3400 HP, and an average drop rate of 27% for all of the grey items we previously discussed. They can be found in the southern part of eastern Plaguelands, from the entrance all the way to Corin's Crossing. These tend to be a bit annoying because of the ability Terrifying Screech, an instant cast, causing nearby enemies to flee in fear for the duration of 4 seconds. The Noxious Plague Bat, or maybe the obnoxious one, with levels between 54 and 56, 3600 HP, and an average drop rate of 29% on the grey items. They can be found north of the Infected Scar, north of Corin's Crossing, and all the way to Light's Hope Chapel. These are even more annoying than our previous bats because they can cast the Slowing Poison debuff, which increases the time between your attacks by 25% and slows your movement speed by 65%, all of this for the duration of 25 seconds. The Monstrous Plague Bat, with levels between 56 and 58, 3800 HP, and an average drop chance of 31% for the grey items. They can be found in the northern part of eastern Plaguelands, with higher concentration between Stratholme's back entrance and Northdale. These mobs will be perfect for our grind today, since their ability is Sonic Burst, an instant cast that gives a 10-second silence debuff. As a warrior, we won't be affected by the spell. Now, if you choose to grind here, pick the mobs that are most suitable for your class. For example, casters should stay away from the Monster Plague Bat because the silence will make the grind pretty inefficient, unless your caster is very well geared and your killing speed and class knowledge is high. If your class has an ability to remove the poison debuff, the Obnoxious Plague Bat would be a good choice. If you're playing a pet class like Hunter or Warlock, choosing the Plague Bats would be a good idea because they will fear your pet instead of you, and the kill speed would be significantly higher than other classes. The bats have good drop chances on Traveler's Backpacks, Thorium and Mithril lockboxes. Also, they drop lots of greens where some of them can have significant value. For example, I got a level 54 offhand of Frozen Rat with 20 frost power. Early game, this can sell pretty well, not sure exactly at what price, but I'm assuming 100 gold plus. Nevertheless, I will not include this in the final gold per hour, as this is heavy RNG. Speaking of heavy RNG, not only that you get high level green items, but you also have a chance to obtain rare, iconic items such as Orb of Deception, Maiden Circle, Stone Grip Gauntlets, the Shadowfoot Stabber, and so on. Not only this, but these mobs can drop the second wave of epic, rare and expensive items such as Stockade Shoulders, Skullflame Shield, Crawlblade, Myrmidon Signet, Axe of Deep Woods, and so on. Don't get your hopes high on this, the point is that this grind is a bit tedious and annoying. Knowing that there's a small chance to obtain one of these items will help you stay motivated and grind more gold. I spent in total grinding at this spot around 2.5 hours on the northern part of the map. Killed on average 350 bats, mostly monster bats. I managed to make 129 gold with vendoring everything, which puts me on 51 gold and 60 silver consistent per hour. I could have got 15 more gold from selling the letter to the auction house and about 15 more gold from the green items if they were disenchanted or listed at the market. I did not get any traveler's backpacks, something that usually drops here. However, I did get an offhand with a high value that we did not include in this sum up because it's RNG. Now, these numbers will differ on live servers due to competition, lack of gear to speed kill, getting killed in PvP, and a number of other situations that I cannot think about right now. Early game, with an average geared character, you could probably pull 40 gold per hour, assuming that you sell your stuff on the auction house. And late game, some skilled players or classes like hunters could push the numbers up to 60-70 gold per hour. The grind was made to show the potential of the spot, and I think we got a good estimate of what we can get from here. If you choose to go on this grind, note that this can be annoying as hell, so try to watch some TV series or a stream in the process to keep yourself sane. Keep in mind that there's always a chance to get a jackpot to drop, and even if it doesn't, mobs sometimes will drop 3 grey items worth 50 silver, or sometimes all 4 of them. In the end, it's pretty rewarding. Now that we covered this spot in terms of consistency, let's explore a couple of ways on how we can improve this grind, getting the most out of it. Professions. In terms of professions, all 3 gathering skills are viable. With mining, there's lots of true silver, thorium and rich thorium veins. If you spend enough time here, you can get a couple of thorium stacks and maybe some arcane crystals. Make sure to choose the grinding location close to the edge of the map or around the surrounding hills. With herbalism, it's a different story. Dreamfoil and Plague Bloom it's quite abundant in eastern plaguelands. If lucky enough, you could also find 1 or 2 Black Lotus. This skill is perfect to have while grinding here, especially if you're grinding before or during the release of new content, as this will increase herb prices significantly. Skinning seems to be the most consistent. This will increase your gold gain per hour on average with 30%, yet depending on the leather prices on your current server. The mobs I've grinded were between level 56 and 58, which gave me an 80% rugged leather and 20% thick leather gain. If you're killing the lower level bats, your numbers will be different. Depending on the price for Essence of Water, you can include in your rotation killing the water elementals. If you grind the plague bats just south of Corin Crossing, you can find Lake Mereldar, filled with plague ravagers and blighted surges, which have a 3% chance to drop an essence. If you kill the obnoxious bats, like Blackwood in the middle of the map, it's hosting blighted horrors and plague monstrosities, which have a 5% chance to drop an essence. If you choose to grind the monster bats, the small lake in Northdale is also hosting a couple of elementals. Same ones as Blackwood Lake, but here you can increase the range of your rotation between the 2 lakes. Essence of Water price sometimes goes up to 10 gold, and getting a couple will increase your gold gain by a lot. As you carry yourself around the map, you could also kill the Carrion Grub and the Carrion Devourer, as these mobs have a 5 to 8% chance to drop the Larval Acid, a crafting material used in crafting nature resistance gear and Hide of the Wild. Check the price on the auction house first to see if it's worth it. Sometimes the Larval Acid can go up to 5 gold. I think we made this video longer than required, but as requested by most of you, it seems to me that longer equals better. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to like this video. I shared my favorite grinding spot with you, maybe you can share yours in the comments down below. Or just leave some feedback, as we read all the comments and this is really appreciated. Until next time, stay frosty.